Have you ever felt a kind of loneliness you couldn't name? The kind where you are standing in a crowd of people who are laughing, connecting, belonging, and you are right there with them, but somehow still on the outside looking in. If you have ever felt that, this is for you, and I want to start by saying something that might feel uncomfortable at first. That feeling of not belonging, the one you have probably carried quietly for longer than you want to admit, is not proof that something is wrong with you. It is actually a very honest signal. It means part of you already knows you have outgrown where you are. It means something deeper is trying to redirect you toward where you are actually supposed to be. But here is where it gets tricky. Most people interpret that feeling as rejection. They turn it inward. They think it means they are too much, or not enough, or somehow fundamentally different in a way that disqualifies them from closeness. And so they spend enormous energy trying to shrink themselves into shapes that fit rooms they were never designed for. They adjust their laugh, soften their opinions, dim their energy, all in service of earning a sense of belonging that was never going to come from that direction. Think about how exhausting that actually is, performing a version of yourself that is slightly off from who you really are, day after day, hoping nobody notices the gap. And the worst part is that even when it works, even when people accept the performance, it does not satisfy anything. Because deep down, you know they are accepting the edited version, not the real one. So the loneliness does not go away, it just changes form. Here is what I want you to sit with for a moment. The people who found genuine belonging in their lives did not find it by becoming more acceptable. They found it by becoming more themselves. That sounds simple and almost cliché, but follow the logic. Authenticity is the only thing that creates real resonance. When you show up as the actual version of who you are, you stop attracting people who like the performance, and you start attracting people who are drawn to the truth. That exchange is completely different. One leaves you feeling seen, the other just leaves you feeling tired. Now, I also want to talk about something that often gets missed in these conversations. Not belonging somewhere is not the same as not belonging anywhere. Those two things feel identical when you are in the middle of it, but they are fundamentally different experiences. One is a temporary mismatch, the other would be a permanent condition, and the temporary mismatch is almost always what is actually happening, even when it feels like the latter. Some people spend years in the wrong environment, surrounded by people whose values, rhythms, and priorities are genuinely incompatible with theirs, and they conclude that there must be something broken inside them, when really the answer is much simpler. They are in the wrong room. And leaving the wrong room, as terrifying as it feels, is not abandonment or failure. It is accuracy. The fear that keeps people in those wrong rooms is real, though. Because at least the wrong room is known. At least you understand its dynamics, even if they hurt. The possibility of leaving and finding nothing on the other side, that particular fear is powerful enough to keep people stuck for years, sometimes decades. But here is what I have seen again and again. The people who finally allowed themselves to step away from where they did not belong, to stop forcing a connection that was costing them their sense of self, those people almost universally describe the same thing afterward. They say they did not realize how heavy it was until they put it down. You do not have to figure out where you belong before you stop pretending to belong somewhere you do not. Those can happen in that exact order. Let go first. Trust that what is right for you exists, even before you can see it clearly. And while we are being honest, I want to say one more thing. Some of the people reading this right now are not in the wrong room. Some of you are in the right room, but you are still wearing the wrong mask. You have surrounded yourself with people who would actually welcome the real version of you, but old habits of self-protection keep you hiding anyway. The belonging you are looking for is closer than you think. It is just waiting on the other side of a small act of courage, not a dramatic gesture, not a total reinvention, just one honest moment, one sentence said without softening it, One opinion offered without an apology attached. One instance where you let someone see something true about you, and you let their response be whatever it is going to be. That is where it starts. Not with finding the perfect people or the perfect place, with letting yourself be findable. You are not too much. You are not too different. You are not broken because fitting in has felt hard. Some of the most extraordinary people who ever lived spent the first chapter of their lives certain they did not belong anywhere, only to discover that what they felt as exile was actually just early arrival. They got somewhere before their people did. You are not behind. You are not lost. And the ones who are meant for you are still on their way.